Hey there, Pastor John here, back again. Thank you to all of you who are coming out to Centralized small groups. Thank you guys. I'm just so happy you're there. I really hope you're enjoying it. I hope that it's kind of getting past that awkward stage and you're really trying to build bonds. Something I'm really encouraged by is seeing the discussion time. Like I said, that's where the magic happens. That's where the group really starts to bond. And I love hearing all the discussions. I love hearing you guys talk to each other, ask each other questions, laughing. It's so great. Now remember, this Wednesday, you're going to begin doing a potluck just with your table, and your whole table, your whole group, your small group is going to be taking care of the entire meal. So we are not going to provide anything. You guys need to take care of drinks, utensils, sides, and the main entree. So I want every single group to be in communication and make sure you guys are talking about what you all are going to bring. Now remember, there's two things I want to remind you about. This is the best time for you guys to show love and really show support for those in your group that might not be doing well financially. Maybe they're just not in a good place in life and it's really hard for them to provide. And I want you guys to create that safe environment. Maybe the person doesn't have to reply all to the whole group. Maybe the person just emails the admin who's organizing the potluck. So make it easy for people to share these type of things. And as a group, I hope you take care of each other. Number two, remember, I want you guys to make it easy. Make sure that one person is not providing the main entree for all 14 people, but you want to split up the main entrees. So here's an example. You have maybe 2 people provide main entrees. They're going to provide enough for like 4 or 5 or 4 to 6 people. That way now both main entrees is covering the whole group. And then you have 3 people do sides. And maybe that one person that's bringing the side is only providing enough for maybe about 3 people, because now there's multiple sides for you guys to feed everyone. And then there's a person who takes care of utensils, a person who takes care of drinks, and so on and so forth. So I want you guys to be really strategic in how you organize the potluck. I hope you're excited because we're going to get into our second gospel love language. Remember last week we talked about pain and suffering. I know, it was really heavy, a little serious, but I wanted to kind of start off with that one because now the next 3 are a little bit easier to digest. And this Wednesday, you don't want to miss out because we're going to talk about the gospel love language of love, meaning that the gospel, there is something loving about this gospel. And some of you were compelled to believe in Christ because you saw the death of Christ, the power of the cross, as the greatest act of love, and you felt loved. And you saw that this was real love. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the perspective of love from the gospel. So I hope to see you this week. Remember, you guys want to make it out for every single week from now on. It's very, very important to be committed, for everyone to be there consistently. And I hope that pretty soon you're going to launch off and become your own group. So something I want you to start right now. Every single person in the group needs to start praying about this right now. I want to really preheat that oven. And I want you to all pray for humility. I know, that's kind of a weird thing to pray for, right? But I want you to all pray for humility every single day. Humility for just all of life, but especially for this small group. I want you to pray for humility. Humility is important because pretty soon you're going to get into discussions about when to have the small group, what time to have the small group, which day, how often you're going to do it, for 6 weeks, for 8 weeks, you're going to take a break, and even the location of the small group. I want you to pray for humility because some of you have been blessed by the Lord with a home. And I want you to pray for humility, to be a good steward of that home, to provide a location for people to come. And that requires humility. You know why? Because it's your home. I know. And you have to maybe clean up a little before. And that requires some humility. Humility to serve. Humility because you know that God has given you that house. And it takes humility to understand that and to use it for the Lord. So I want you to all pray for humility. Can you guys do that for me? Every single day, pray for humility so this small group can work. Because in a couple of weeks when you go launch off, it's going to require a humble small group to work together to agree on a day and a time, a location, how often you meet, when to take breaks, how many breaks you take, so that everyone can work together. It's going to require humility because some of you might have different preferences. It's going to require humility also for this. And this is really, really key for why I want you to pray for humility. pray for humility, because it's going to require humility for every single one of you to open up space inside your week so the small group can happen. Let me tell you what humility is not. This is not humility. It's when you tell your group that you're only available on a Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30, and that's it. And that's the only time you can give for small group. That is not a humble heart. Now, some of you guys might be in a really objective situation where literally that's the only time you have. Maybe you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you are actually working at night. So that's a different conversation. But I'm talking about just you yourself. How much you are protective of your time. When you hold on to that with a tight grip, it's going to be very difficult for you to be part of a small group, to participate in a small group, and for the small group as a whole to be able to meet together and agree on a day and time. So pray for humility, y'all, because this conversation is coming up. And I want to preheat that oven right now. Let's preheat that oven. So when that time comes, the oven will be at the right temperature, ready to cook, ready to bake that small group into something beautiful, into an awesome cake or a muffin or whatever it is that you guys love to bake. So let's all pray for humility. I look forward to seeing you this Wednesday. Thank you for coming. The potluck is all on your own. Please make sure you send out that email, whoever the administrator is, get in communication, and I'm excited to see you all. Thank you.